Yahar Maties! Welcome to the Seas. This is Damron. I'm playing Sea of Thieves. We are on Season 9. I've got a bunch of videos already out about the achievements as well as a full update. But in this video, I'm going to cover some of the smaller details that you might have missed in Season 9. I want to hone in on the things that you really should know because these kind of snuck in there. So let's get right to it. First off is changes to the mermaid statues and the gems. These kind of snuck in here as a change that I think is a better change, and that is that the merfolk statues no longer regenerate. So no matter what size of your crew, you're going to be able to kill any statue that you come across. You'll be able to solo take down the ruby statues easily because again, they don't regenerate. So you can take your time, eat your fruit, do whatever you need to do to eventually kill it. And also the gems that come out of these statues are no longer just single, but they can be 2 or even 3 gems. With that though, the gems have changed in other ways. You can no longer find emerald or ruby gems in shipwrecks. You will only find sapphire gems there, and you will also no longer find gems washed up on the beaches. You can only find emerald and ruby gems in forts or the mermaid statues or kind of chests you get from sinking skelly ships. The second thing is changes to the chest of sorrow. It's been balanced a little bit to, cry significantly less water into your ship as you're sailing around. So you can see it used to fill up a lot faster. Now it's filling up very, very slow. So you don't have to keep as much of an eye on it. This was kind of done because there is a new chest of everlasting sorrow that never stops crying. Another change is the hit notification sound option in your audio settings. This is one of the best changes. You're going to find a new option of musical hit notification volume. So you can turn down your sound, you can turn down your music, and still keep the hit notification high. So when you're in battle, you know when you're getting the hits. This is one of the best changes that are available to you in your audio settings. So be sure you turn that up and keep it up. Also in our settings, you will find in the crew section a new option to scuttle your ship and change the seas. So now you can, vote to scuttle the old school way and just scuttle and stay on your server. But if you're in a toxic server or you're in a server where someone's just destroying you, now you can scuttle and change the seas, similar to losing an hourglass battle. So that's a new option available to you. Also, in the gameplay settings, you're going to find a new option to disable your sitting and your trinket interactions. This is really nice. So you can go in there and you can disable these. That way you will no longer be going to your map table and instead of looking at the map, taking a seat. You can see those options to sit down are no longer there. So you're not going to have to battle with that problem. Also, with the trinkets, now you can still adjust them if they're moved, but you can see the option to replace them is no longer here. So you should expect to see less X prompts if you use that. There's also a setting to disable our pirate and ship milestones notifications, which is great because there's tons of notifications in the milestone sections. So if you're playing on captaincy, you're just getting notifications all the time. Now we can disable those, which is a great addition. I highly recommend you turning those off unless there's one that you're really trying to follow. Another thing that kind of snuck in there is extra voyage space, and all the voyages are available to you at all times from the representatives. So if you've reached the appropriate level to have access to the vaults, the gold hoarder will always offer you that quest. He's going to offer you every potential quest available. Same with the merchant alliance, and when you purchase them, they'll no longer disappear. So you could actually sit here and buy multiple gold hoarder vaults. So if you don't have a captaincy boat and you don't have access to the captaincy voyages where you can stack a bunch of vaults, like 50 of them, you can still actually hold up to 12. They've increased your voyage capacity from 3 to 12, and you can purchase as much as any type of voyage you like from the representatives. One of the best changes that snuck into this update is the daily log in your logbook. I think honestly this is one of my favorite changes of this entire update. If you go to the end of your logbook now, you're actually going to see a log for every day, and it's going to keep track of things that you do, right? Day 3, I docked a cannon rowboat aboard the ship. I also reached grade 5 emissary for the Reaper's Bones. Day 4, I'm still within it. And what's going to happen is that every day ends, it's going to draw a picture of what you accomplished. So you see day 1, I found a shipwreck, so there's a shipwreck drawn at the top. Day 2, I found an hourglass battle, so there's 2 ships battling. So I think the daily log is super cool. Another thing that's kind of in there is our food radial wheel. It's a little bit useless, but when you have your food out, you'll now have an option to open a food radial, and you can select specific food that you want to eat. I think it's stupid. It's better just a hotkey, and you can cycle through it faster that way anyway. The 10th and thing that I want to talk about is stashing voyages. We have always wanted to clean up our wheel, and now we can do that. If you go to your quest wheel, you're going to see an option to stash the voyages. Now, you're not throwing them away. When you go back to your quest wheel, you can press B to say, let me go to my stashed voyages, and then you can unstash them. So it's a nice way to clean up your Radial without losing them. A little bit of bonus thing that's stuck in here. It's not really a big sneak, but I want to touch on just some things that you can now sell to the Sovereign that you couldn't before, and that is the Dark Tridents and fish for the Hunter's Call. You can sell fish to the Sovereign now, as well as the Dark Trident. Now, these the people at the Hunter's Call outposts are actually going to give you more gold for the fish than the Sovereign will, so keep that in mind. But that's a bunch of little things that snuck in there with Season 9. I hope you guys, maybe heard one or two things that you didn't already know, so I hope you found that helpful as always, and hopefully I'll see you on the seas.